Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sisanda. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for being a real one. I sees you. Okay, so obviously if you're here it's because you saw the title, and to be honest with you guys, this is a very long overdue video. I've been meaning to film, but just haven't had the chance to. A lot's going on right now, a lot. Anyway, I do want to address, well, I do want to state that this video is not based on any, I don't know, like I'm no psychiatrist, I'm no psychologist, I'm not a relationship expert. I am just Isanda sharing my life experiences as I've always done with y'all, and the lessons that I've learned from the stuff that I've been here. So you can take it or leave it, chew what you will, spit out the bones if you don't want them, then yeah, just keep it moving. Don't come for me. Like I said, I'm talking about my life, I'm talking about my experiences, so don't be a doggo, okay? This is not the streets, not here, okay? Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, as most of you may know, I am divorced, and yeah, I feel qualified to talk about the subject because I have, experienced everything firsthand. And yeah, for me, if you haven't watched my divorce story, go ahead and check that out. And if you want to hear all about my growth after my divorce, go ahead and check this video out. But today we're talking about dating after divorce because, yo guys, umjolo, unzima. Umjolo, the streets, child, the streets are not for me. The streets are not for everybody. It was really tough being back out there, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I think for me, the most important thing was, especially during and after the divorce, was going to therapy, as I've already shared previously. And I was with a holistic therapist, which means that I was employing techniques such as hypnotherapy, and I did a whole lot of age regression therapy where we addressed my relationships with my authority figures, or the authoritative figures in my life. That would be my parents, and then my family, and then my relationship with myself, and then my relationship, like my romantic relationships, how I interact in those, and then my relationship with other people, relationship with money, all that good stuff. Okay, so obviously me going through the divorce and getting over it while in therapy, I thought, your girl's done the work, she's healed. I'm a whole healed, I'm a wholesome girlfriend to be right now. God, guys, you see, I'm trying to phrase this in a way that is not defamatory, but still gets the point across. I did endure a whole lot of emotional and physical abuse in my previous relationship or marriage. So yeah, that's one of the, actually, if not the main reason why I went into therapy, it's one of the most important of them. Because of that, I was afraid of males, and I was afraid of myself because of what I had attracted into my life. And so I had to do that. I had to get that sorted before even thinking about jumping into a new relationship. And obviously when you do a whole lot of therapy, you think, you know what, I'm ready to just dive into the deep end and see all these fish in the sea and pick the one that's right for me. Fuck, Nia is awake. You know what that means. Anywho, continuing. Fuck. Never mind, my very sweet boyfriend is gonna take care of her. So yeah, as I was saying, sorry if you see me looking away or looking down, it's because I have my notebook in front of me, because honey, I needed this video to be rich. I needed it to, help somebody out there, because I'm all about, quality, child. Okay. But yeah, I was in a whole age regression therapy, and Obviously, when you're doing therapy while single, you think, I've got this. I'm ready to go out there, jump in the deep end, and see which fish is in the sea, find my Nemo, find my Dory. Huh? Guys, you see, let me tell you from a perspective of someone who was married, divorced, went through a singlehood period, and is now in a relationship. No matter how much work you do in therapy as a single person, there's certain things that are only triggered when you get into a relationship. So you are never perfect for a relationship. You can never be ready or completely ready. You can prepare as much as you want, which is great, but you can never be completely ready for a relationship, because you are encountering somebody else who is most likely also been hurt a couple of times, and they have their own trauma. Some have been to therapy, some haven't. And so that in itself, like, those are two worlds colliding, and some way or another, y'all are going to trigger each other. Cool. So yeah, a lot of my therapy looked like addressing my triggers in terms of relationships. Like when it came to my authoritative figures, my relationship with my mom, my relationship with my dad, which is pretty much non-existent, I had to address that in terms of I had to get to a point where I was like, okay, you know what, my mom was also a child at some point. And so even her, she has her own traumas, she has her own, like, basically empathize. And so yeah, I dealt with that. But when it came to like my dad, for instance, guys, I thought I was cool. I thought I was like, you know what, my dad wasn't very present in my life, so there's not much to miss. He died when I was like, what, 10 years old? So yeah, I barely knew him. I'd see him like once every 2 years if I was lucky. And then yeah, I lost him. I didn't have much of a relationship, so I always figured because there wasn't much to miss, I was all good. I was a-okay. I was a mama's girl. Grandma took care of me when my mama couldn't. I come from a home filled with very strong women. And yeah, some are married. Actually, all of them are married. My mom was the last one to get married. So I was like, I'm cool. Like, I'm all good. Until I started dissecting my interactions with males and the kind of relationships I constantly find myself in, and the kind of men I constantly attract to myself. And I used to think it was completely unrelated, only to sit with my therapist and have him tell me that your daddy issues are the root of every... Your daddy issues are the driving force behind the kind of men you attract, the kind of men you choose to be with, the kind of men you fall for, and your fixer mentality, right? So yeah, for me, it was a whole lot of addressing the trauma and addressing my triggers, but also the shame. Guys, it's my first time actually openly speaking about the physical abuse I endured in my marriage, because even I was in disbelief that a man would beat me up. Like, yeah. Yeah, it happened. And I never thought that would be me. Like, guys, my mom took me to karate as a kid, but at the end of the day, I'm a woman. I'm tiny. Like, as much as I can fight, I'm tiny, and a masculine man will overpower me, or did overpower me. And yeah, like, it just, honestly, even when it happened, it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, who is this person? Like, who is this person? But then looking back now, I do realize that there were a whole lot of red flags I was picking up, thinking there was red roses. Honey, I was on some with them red flags, okay? Because I mean, in the beginning, even when I was like very, very early in my pregnancy, this guy would literally, like, when we'd have a fight, and I would be like, okay, you know what, you go to bed, I'll just watch TV, or I'll sleep on the couch or whatever. He would come and drag me, guys, like dragging me on the floor to come and sleep to bed with him, saying no woman of mine is gonna sleep in a separate room from me, blah blah blah. And I remember telling him, no, dude, don't do that, you're hurting me. And he just didn't care. Like, he was just adamant about getting his way. And so yeah, but now this is something that only clicked like when I was in therapy, and I was like looking back, I was like, shit, girl, you saw red flags and you just brushed them off. What did you expect? Bulindeleni, like, you know. So okay, yeah, that was that for me. But one thing that was very important for me to remember is that people have a choice at the end of the day, and who a person chooses to portray themselves as and what a person chooses to do, it's entirely up to them. Like, we can't control people's actions, so they are responsible for their own actions. I'm not. So I have no reason to feel ashamed. I'm a woman who is overpowered by a masculine man, or a man in general, which is so yeah, like things like that. I was like, okay, I also have to forgive myself before actually getting to a place where I'm like, you know what, it happened to me, but that doesn't take away from who I am. It didn't take my power. He's a shitty nigga for doing what he did. Yeah, I said it, he's a shitty nigga. But it's done now, and we're back and we're better. And yeah, man, like, I think the most important thing is that I wasn't one of those women who stay thinking that the man will change, and then chigi your parents are fetching you from his house in a coffin. No. And that's one advice I'll always give to a woman. Please don't let a man beat on you and think that he's gonna change. They do it once, they'll do it again, because you forgave him, so he got away with it. So he gonna do it again. You gonna become his punching bag. Okay, don't become a statistic. Nah. If he loved you, he wouldn't be hitting on you in the first place. And not hitting on you in that scene, and that, like, no, it's a no. Don't tolerate that. So yeah, in terms of that, I then became very hell-bent on identifying what my red flags would be in a relationship, taking into account everything that I've been through and what I wanted in a man, what I didn't want in a man. And I think that's something that women tend to look over or just dismiss. We know what we want in a partner, but we never really think hard enough about what we don't want in a partner, because it's not enough to identify or do your whole list based on what you do want. You might find that a man ticks all the boxes on your list. You want flowers, he buys you flowers. You want him to shower you and pamper you with gifts and surprises, he does that. You want great moments, he does that. You want him to be chivalrous and open the door for you, he does that. But he's a temperamental freak who is controlling, psychotic, will gaslight you when you try to have conversation with him because he lacks communication skills, and will never ever make time for you because he's so busy making the money that he's using to pamper and shower you with gifts with. So make both lists, what you do want and what you don't want. And what you don't want should be your standard of red flags. Don't even tolerate it. Ask a lot of questions when you're in the talking stage with someone. It's called a talking stage because you're supposed to be doing a whole lot of communication, guys. Like, don't fall quickly. It's not cute. Yeah, it sounds cute and all, but don't fall quickly. You fall quickly, you find yourself in a mess you were never supposed to find yourself in, because when you went in there with heart. No, never go into love with heart first. Keep your mind alert. Like, stay on alert, okay? Stay on alert. Know what it is you want and don't back down. Be very picky, guys. Like, when I tell you that a man who wants you will do whatever it takes to have you, I mean that. I've seen that, okay? And I've dated, okay? I'm talking from experience. I've dated. So yeah, and please, age is just a number. Like, my ex was what? He's 40 this year. And I thought because he was older, he was wiser. No, I met 25-year-olds wiser than that man. So age is just a number, please. Yeah, don't tolerate red flags. If you see a red flag and it's definitely something you're not willing to tolerate, don't now try to settle, try to reason with it, try to find a loophole around it just because guy is cute. No, balega, balega, balega. Run. We don't tolerate red flags. Not in 2023, guys. Like, we do not tolerate red flags. They're not red roses. We don't do that. So yeah, that's that on that. And then what I do want to touch on is something that I feel is a very touchy subject. Being a woman with a child going back into the market. What does that look like? Hey guys, a lot of people, like, you go on Twitter and you see a whole lot of chatter about, oh no, I would never date someone with a child, or don't date people with children. And there's that whole stigma surrounding that because for some sick reason, men think we're out there looking for stepdaddies for our babies. No, motherfucker, we are not. My child is well taken care of. Besides the stupid maintenance this guy pays, my mom is a very, very present grandmother. Like, my mom has been taking care of my baby from day one, because even my ex only started paying maintenance after the divorce, after it was made official by a court order when finalizing the divorce. So that was this year. So since the day my baby was born, she's on my mama's medical aid. My mom takes care of everything. My mom took care of all my medical bills, even when I was pregnant, for all my ultrasounds, my monthly checkups and all that stuff. My mom took care of that. Even though I was married, by the way. And then what else? Yeah, like, so yeah, when it comes to, you know, these men thinking that a woman with a child is a deal breaker because you don't want to be a stepdaddy. Motherfucker, please get the hell out of here. Like, women, we are not out of choices. There are beautiful men out there who will love your child. I definitely believed that was possible for me, and I've got me that man. But even when I was dating, guys, like, I dated this very well accomplished accountant, chartered accountant, who established, has his own house, pays a fucking mortgage, has 2 cars, you know, educated, really smart. He was just looking for a wife, you know, but he never had time. And I had to be like, my guy, you and I could probably build something great, except you won't have the time to build it with me. So it's chai, I can't do this. Like, you and I can't. Like, guy would shower me with gifts every week, guys. New flowers every 2 weeks. Like, he would literally go out of his way to give me the dream. But I never had his time. And for me, my love language is time. Like, quality time means everything to me. I don't care if you can shower me with your money, but I don't know who the hell you are. No. And because I'm a mother to a baby girl, I'm very careful about the kind of people I bring around my daughter, because men are sick out here. Yeah, men are sick out here. Like, yeah, men are sick out here. I don't want to take out any dirty laundry, but yeah, there are men who are like addicted to porn, and sick kind of porn, like daddy-daughter porn, and I don't need that kind of energy around me or my daughter. I was molested as a child, and I will make sure with my entire life and everything that I have that my daughter never ever experiences any of that kind of shit, especially not under my watch, not because of me. God help me. God help me. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, women, we're not out of options. You having a child doesn't make you, or even 2 children at that. My mom had me and my brother. We're both from different dads, and she's still married to a very well-established man who adores her, you know? So it's definitely possible. You are not, your pool becomes a little bit smaller than the single girls or the girls without kids, but you still have a very good pond to play within, okay? And you can still be picky. You can still have your standards. Please maintain your standards. And never ever be with a man who will make you choose between you and your kids. As I believe. Please. Please. And I'm mentioning that because for me, when I started talking to a guy, I was very intentional about the questions that I ask him and understanding what it is he's looking for. Some guys are really just looking for a wife that will sit at home and clean and make babies with, and then she'll take care of the kids while he goes and chases his dreams. While some guys are looking for istembu, polygamy, and while other guys are okay with you having your kid, but they have no interest in building a relationship with your kid. And to me, that is important. Listen, I have a stepdad, like I've mentioned, who basically made my mom choose between him and us being my brother and myself, after marriage. And my mom kind of made that choice. It kind of chose him, but I get it. I'm not mad at her now. I used to be, but I get it. But at the same time, I'm very, very intentional about ensuring that doesn't happen to my baby. And so, yeah, I wasn't trying to find a guy who is 1 foot in, 1 foot out about this whole thing of me being a mom or him getting close with my daughter. You know, men who are iffy like that, you're not for me, my guy, you know. So yeah, please, as a woman, don't ever think, or even as a man, don't think that just because you have a kid or children, it disqualifies you from ever finding true love with a man who adores you. Guys, I was so confident about my desire to find a man who will love both me and my daughter, that I even went to God and was like, God, please make sure that this man doesn't have children, because my ex was a baby daddy and he had 3 other baby mamas, and I'm not about that life. Like, men, I honestly feel, you can come for me about this, but this is just my opinion based on my experience again. I feel that women are better at handling the whole baby daddy situation as opposed to what men are at handling baby mamas. Women aren't afraid to set boundaries, and also the children spend more time with the moms, so there's very limited interaction between your partner as a woman and your baby daddy, whereas there are very blurred lines with men and their baby mamas. And women can be really snacks. Like, witchcraft was a thing in my last relationship, guys. These chemical engineers are busy out here. Yeah, women. So yeah, I really went to God and I was like, God, this is the man that I want. This is the man I desire. Please make sure he doesn't have kids, because I really can't seal. I know it sounds like I got double standards, but in this case, I really will have double standards, because I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't think I have it in me anymore. I love children, but I would prefer it if the man that I married does not have any. So yeah, keep your standards, still have standards, maintain your standards. You don't have to settle. You're not out of options. You're still the fucking prize, baby. You're still the prize. It's only boys that think women with children are damaged goods, or yeah, like at this point, it's very rare that you'll find a woman who's a virgin anyway. So, my guy. But anyway, this is for my girls. Please, 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 please don't ever, ever think you're less than worthy, because you're definitely worthy. You're absolutely worthy. And the right man will see that. The right man will adore that about you. The right man will praise you. The right man will put you back on the pedestal, because that's where you belong, and he will recognize your worth, and you won't have to convince him about it. He will convince you if need be. Okay? I'm talking from experience. Look at me talking like I'm a 35, 40-year-old girl. Girl, life will make you grow up very quickly. So yeah, that is that with in terms of like dating with a child. It's pretty much the same. It's just a matter of being with mature men who don't have fragile egos, you know? As you're waiting and as you're desiring a partner in your singlehood, pray for him, pray about this person, pray for the kind of qualities you want him to have. Let God know about it, but also pray for him. Pray that he may be kept from temptation, that he may not be led astray by the other piranhas in this world. Pray for him and pray about him. Don't be shy about that. I'm not saying you're gonna get 10 out of 10 plus 10 minus nothing kind of guy. We all have our flaws, but you will definitely get something close, very, 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 very close to all that you're praying for, and it'll be exactly what you need. Just trust God. He knows what's best for you. Okay, with that being said, also pray that God makes you into the kind of woman that can keep such a man. It's not enough to attract a man. You need to know how to keep a man. So yeah, like, careful how you put yourself out there. If you're going to be on dating apps, like for me, I barely go out. So I knew it was very rare for me to bump into a man in the corridor and have that magical moment where he helps me pick up my books and we just accidentally touch fingers, and it's just like, and then we look at each other and we see heaven in each other's eyes, and then it's just that, yeah, no, I live in Joburg CBD. It's a dream for me, hey. Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put myself on dating apps. But even then, that's when you have to be extra careful on how you portray yourself on dating apps. Careful of the kind of pictures you put out there. You show too much, you come off a little skanky, you'll attract hookups. You show very little, you'll attract proper decent men, okay? And yeah, remember that not everyone who's on Tinder or Bumble is looking for a wife, which is why I opted for Hinge. Hinge should definitely sponsor this video because I'm about to like bump you guys, like. But yeah, like, I was on Hinge because I was talking to this girl that I met on Bumble, because I use Bumble BFF because I'm cool like that. And like I said, I'm in Joburg CBD and I never really go out, so I use that app to make friends. And I made some really cool friends on Bumble. Try it out if you haven't. Girlfriends, that is. But yeah, I was on Hinge. I met this girl on Bumble. She was telling me about how she's dating this guy who's traveling a lot, and he's in the UK because of so and so. I'm like, girl, where do you meet such men? It's like, on Hinge, girl. I'm like, okay, a whole freaking plug myself in. Never mind. I plugged myself in on Hinge, and yeah, I just chose the most elegant pictures of myself. Show that you're adventurous in terms of you going outside, not kinky adventurous. Like, you going outside hiking, show that. If you have a pet, show that you love pets. If you have a child, don't show your child, but do state that you have a child. Don't mislead people. Don't do that. Also, it helps you out in the long run. You don't want to be talking to someone and then after 3 days of talking, you tell them that you have a child and they're turned off, and then you've just wasted 3 days of your life. Don't do that. Be honest. Keep it real, okay? It helps you weed out all the unnecessary little boys and, you know, get with the ripe caliber of men, you know? I don't know why this is great for caliber, but it made sense. But yeah, careful how you put yourself out there. Put very elegant pictures of yourself. Look good. You know, show that you're a clean hand. You take care of yourself. If you go on solo dates, show that you're on solo date. Even if it wasn't a solo date, you went on a date with your friend, and your girlfriend took a picture of you. Show that picture of you in a beautiful restaurant. Actually, Nami, I'm in the market. Men won't think it's your girlfriend that took it. They'll probably think, oh, this girl actually goes out. We like to make them, guess and wonder and feel like, okay, you know what, if I don't act fast, I'll lose her, and men don't want to lose a good thing. Reverse psychology, honey. So yeah, careful how you put yourself out there, and again, maintain your standards, please. Maintain them. Don't bend. Don't now listen to this guy telling you sweet nothings. Remember, everyone on a dating app is trying to put their best foot forward. So they won't tell you about their trauma up front. They won't tell you that they're crazy motherfuckers up front. Like, always have it in the back of your mind that if something sounds or looks like it's too good to be true, it most likely is. But also understand that there's no perfect person out there. So yeah, you can decide how you want to play around that scale or spectrum. You determine how you want to move around it. But that's just my 2 cents on that. Be very picky. It simplifies things. Being very picky means that, like I said, you'll find that one man who will do whatever it takes to get you. But you can't be settling for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that gives you the slightest bit of attention or showers you with, flowers every now and then. No, being very picky means that if you ask a guy a question and he's not willing to answer it, or if he doesn't give you an answer that is satisfactory to what you want and need, then you're like, you know what? I'm cool cutting this guy off. I'm cool ending this conversation. Yeah, I'm cool not talking to you again because we're just not on the same level in terms of this. This is my view on that. And if it's a guy who's willing to reason, he will reason. But if he's a guy who's like, no, I'm set in my ways, then trust and believe that relationship wouldn't have worked anyway. So cut your losses, baby, and keep it moving. Be very picky. Maintain your standards. You're still the fucking prize. Remember that. And then be patient. Be patient. While you're waiting, work on yourself. Don't try to rush into anything. Hello, baby. Mia says hi. Say hi. Yeah, be patient. And while you're waiting, work on yourself. You can't be expecting people out there to, be meeting every box on your list or taking every box on your list. Meanwhile, when you are still carrying your baggage from your second lost relationship and all that, because no, work on yourself. If you're looking for a husband, prepare yourself, groom yourself as a wife. Take the necessary actions to position yourself so that even when he does come by, it's a matter of, oh, a husband and a wife are meeting, not a girlfriend and a boyfriend still trying to figure out what they're trying to do. We're too old for this, Asekora, smuvile das, elevatile man just nuvile. And then last but not least, do not get desperate and settle. Guys, I've given you 8 tips. But this one is one that you must remember throughout, because when you're single, a month can feel like a year. And you start to think, okay, maybe I'm just a little bit too picky. Maybe I should, be okay with this red flag. Maybe I should compromise a little here. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because all you're going to do is find yourself in another toxic relationship that's going to end. And you're back at the same spot again. You're back starting the same cycle for what? Don't do it. Don't settle. Don't get desperate. Do for yourself what you are wanting that partner to do for you, first of all. If it's flowers that you want to get from a man, buy yourself flowers, okay? If you don't want to do it yourself, give your friend money and tell them to buy you flowers, please. Or make friends. If you don't have friends, make friends. Like I told you, I'm also on Bumble BFF, making friends. Make friends, go out there. You only get lonely and desperate and then you settle when you spend too much time by yourself, so much so that you're all up in your head and you have all these emotions that you don't know what to do with, and you want to share parts of your life with somebody, but you feel like you don't have that person. Whereas if you have friends, you don't really feel that void much. You feel it, but it's not as bad as it is when you're actually all by yourself. So make friends, go out there, do things for yourself, and just make sure that you don't get so desperate that you find yourself compromising where you shouldn't be, or settling because you feel like he's not coming. For some of us, it will take, like for some of y'all guys, it can take a month to bump into Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, if I've got guys watching this. Whereas for some people, it can take up to 2 years, because at the end of the day, yeah. Oh, this child. No, baby. Sorry. Yeah, for someone it can take a month or 2 or 3 to bump into Mr. or Mrs. Right, whereas for other people it can take up to a year or 2 or 3. But the idea is that in that time, you never get into a relationship just for the sake of being with someone. Never get into a relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship. Never fall in love with the idea of being in love so much so that you're willing to love anyone and force love upon anybody that will give you the time of day just for you to fill a certain void. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. That's just you inflicting trauma upon your own self. It is you exploiting your own emotions to try and force a reality that's not even a reality. Like you're forcing things. Don't force things, you know. So yeah, don't get desperate and settle. Be patient. I promise you, if you're so busy working on yourself and making real improvement, by the time you meet that person, they will be so glad to have you. But more than anything, you won't ever find yourself feeling like you're at the mercy of another person, because you won't lack anything. You won't feel like you lack anything. You will have that much confidence in yourself. You will know yourself that well in order to even be able to pick the right person for you. So yeah, take your time, man. Ease into it. Get to know yourself, you know, discover new parts of who you are. Be as intentional about dating yourself as you're about to be about dating somebody else. That's what you do while you wait, you know? Grow spiritually, grow emotionally, physically. Go out there, experience life, make memories. There are things that you can only do by yourself and should only do by yourself. Yeah, okay, do that. Go be I don't know what to call it. A firefly. Is that what they call them? Those little bugs that glow in the dark. Be that. Be free. Okay? Enjoy your freedom. Relationships are nice, but they all work. So unless you're ready for that kind of employment, enjoy being a freelancer. And don't freelance with the coochie. Okay? Don't do that. Okay guys, that is it from me for today. Thank you for watching. If you've gone this far, please be a darling and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll be one of the first people to know every time I drop a new video. Please hit the thumbs up. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a loved one, your friend, your grandmama, your mama, your boyfriend, whoever it is that you feel like benefit from anything, even if it's just 1 point, anything that I mentioned in this video. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Mwah.